Seeing it on the big screen, but I'd like to see,
We need to see the board.
myself on the big screen so I know who I'm talking to. I always find myself interesting. Here we go. All right, so this is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals, this August 8, 2024. As required by Governor Healy, I offer the following. You'll forgive me, I'm a bit short on breath. My name is Steve DeYoung, and I chair this wonderful Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. We're now going to convene the August 8 meeting. As required by General Law, Chapter 30A, Sections 18 through 25, and pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, and this is the title of the act, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency as extended by Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. The public are able to attend this meeting either in person or via the alternative public access. Members of the public may watch the meeting live on Channel 18 or watch and/or participate in the meeting hosted in the Zoom format. The meeting notice provides necessary instructions to join the meeting via Zoom, and you'll please note that audio, video, and screen sharing functions are disabled for all attendees via Zoom. You may request to participate by using the raise hand function, and as soon as we can, we'll get to you. With that, I'm going to now take a roll call to make sure we have a proper quorum. And we'll start to my left, please. John Mantoni, are you present?
Present.
And Mr. Sean Igo, are you present?
Present.
And Mr. Jay Fraper, are you present?
Present.
And the handsome man to my right is Mr. Richard Martin, Dick Martin, probably known by everybody in this town. He's present.
Not handsome, though.
And I, Steve, what did you say?
Not handsome, but.
Okay, well, Debbie would challenge that. And I am Steve DeYoung, and I'm, as you can see, present in at least body. I'm not sure about anything else. So we have four matters that are on our agenda as noticed in the public format. We'll start with that of 5118. That is Christine Megason. And I'm not going to read the whole description because it's not necessary, and you'll see why in a moment. But it does concern property located at 811 Route 28, South Yarmouth, Mass. Is anybody here interested in this petition? You are? Okay, well, I'm sorry. Because we learned that there was a request today, because a town board has yet to act, for a continuance, for withdrawal without prejudice. What that means is that a petitioner, we grant these all throughout the year, so if you're ever interested, you watch us, and we regularly grant them whenever a petitioner, just about every time a petitioner has done so. I don't know how long I've served on this board, probably about 15 plus years, and we've granted everyone, save for less than 5 over the course of my career. And it's a withdrawal without prejudice means that the petitioner can withdraw if the board so grants that authority, not have any hearing on the merits of the petition, and potentially file for relief at a later date. And if they do that, then they would again have to pay to renotice the world and any abutters or anybody else that has an interest, publish it in the newspaper and the like, just as you apparently got your notice to be here tonight. Okay? So, again, I want to just tell you, you're welcome to chime in when we consider whether or not we're going to grant this request, and I'll invite you to do so after the board has discussed it. But 99.9% certain the board's going to grant it because we always try to be cooperative with people that are presenting. Okay? All right. So does anybody care to discuss this request by the way, this request to continue without prejudice is in connection with property located, I guess I said it already, 811 Route 28, South Yarmouth, Mass. And it's a letter received by Attorney Paul Todd, who has requested this withdrawal without prejudice. As you may remember, this was on in July, and so this is hearing number 2. And this board doesn't like to go more than a couple of meetings before we actually have to hear it. And I think that's what prompted the request to withdraw it at this time, okay? John, do you have any questions or discussion you want to have before moving along? And Sean, how about you?
No, I'm prepared to make a motion that we allow the petitioner to withdraw without prejudice.
I just need to make notes, as you know. I go.
Second.
Second.
No, I already heard that.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I whispered it.
The third.
A little definite.
All right. Now, since they have moved and seconded, Dick, before moving on to the substance of the motion, did you have any position you wanted to let us know, or just move right to the motion after?
Okay, apparently it's the September 5th.
Yeah, I am going to ask that if the two of you would like to say anything, please feel free, one or the other of you, to come to the microphone. I saw 2 hands, did I? If you don't have to. You don't have to, but if you want to say anything before we move it on to the vote, please feel free. Okay, good enough. So, anybody want to have any discussion on the motion made by Mr. Igo and seconded by Mr. Frapery to allow the withdrawal of this permit request without prejudice? Hearing none, we'll do it by roll call. Mr. Martin?
Aye.
Mr. Frapery?
Aye.
Mr. Igo?
Aye.
Mr. Mentoni?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, so that carries unanimously 5-0 to allow withdrawal without prejudice. Sorry we got you all the way out here, but the good news is you get home to see the kickoff of our, and the early play of our newest quarterback. I better get home too, because it's got to be nervous about my fantasy football team. Petition 5122 is Ursula King of 36 Constance Ave in West Yarmouth, Mass. Property located in a zoning district R40, also within the Aquifer Protection District and Zone 2. The applicant seeks a special permit pursuant to bylaw section 407, or in the alternative, a variance under 407.3 F concerning setbacks and 407.36 minimum floor area to create a 312 square foot accessory apartment. Who's presenting on this tonight? Please, would you come right up to the table? Those microphones will give you a lot of squelch back if you're not careful, okay? And you don't tell us what they are. You're welcome to hand them out, and I'll read it into the record if you wouldn't. Everybody's going to need one. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paperwork is the bane of our collective existence, and you'll forgive me, but I have to get mine in order so we can think seriously about your petition. And would you mind telling me who's who?
He's the builder and I'm the owner.
All right. And, you know, because you're wonderful people, and I'm sure every builder is somebody I should know. I don't know them all. But let's start with your name first. If we
Ursula King.
could. All right, Ursula. We have people at home really are watching this, and so they'd like to hear who everybody is, okay? That's not to put you on the defensive, so don't feel so. And you are?
I am Tulio Pereira.
P. Pereira. Yeah, okay. All right, who's going to present tonight? You want him to do it, don't you, Ursula? I knew it. Go right ahead and tell us what you'd like to say about this petition, please.
All right, so what we're looking for to do here
is she only has one specific spot to build a dwelling unit. So she lives by herself, but she has a 2-bedroom house, but only uses one. She's willing to give up 1 bedroom and build a dwelling unit on the back of the house, which is the only spot that she can really build is there, due to a few reasons. Like the meter is on the left side, you got the setback, you can't do more than what it is now because of the wetlands all the way to the back. So we did as far as we could do backwards. Yeah, so that's gonna be for rental purposes of nursing.
Or eventually,
travel or-
when I'm old now, but when I'm older, I might need somebody to be there to assist me because I'm by myself. So that will be the second reason.
So that's the reason the building, the reason why we're asking for variance is because the way that they built the house originally back in the 50s, it's not aligned completely with the land. So more you build backwards, less setback you get because the house is against it. And I couldn't really do, a corner, like make it a corner, a building would just not look right. Like according, just look so bad, and all the neighborhood, everything is nicely and squares done, so you wouldn't just fit in on how the neighborhood looks. So my points that I handed out to you is pretty much those 6 reasons that I came up with are, what I just talked about, the existing home alignment, which we're trying to maintain that. That's why we're going into the setbacks. The utility constraints is the reason why we can't build to the left, so we can't open up the building this way, because all their utility, for some reason, I know they don't do that now, but back in the day, they did it in the back of the house, right under the kitchen. So I can't build this way and have the 350 square footage. The looks I already talked about. The environmental constraints, I can't build more out so I can reach the 350, so I can't even go back more. That was the limit for the, because she has wetlands all the way to the back of the property.
How close is the wetland?
What's that?
How close is the wetland
Well, with the building or currently?
currently?
Currently, it's about 80, 70, 75, 78 feet approximately.
How close will it be when the construction's done, if it's allowed?
It's going to be 60, 58, 60, somewhere around there.
Conservation Commission?
Yes, they already passed through that. They already approved it, everything, no.
And let me ask, before we go too far afield, what is it you're asking for? An accessory apartment?
Yes.
Who's the family-related accessory member?
Oh, well,
What?
they changed in Yarmouth, yeah. So Yarmouth just came this year with a new thing where the dwelling unit does not have to be a family
There's no
member.
family member.
It's
No,
not
it's
in there. Yeah.
For rental, long-term rental, and then eventually, like I said, for somebody to assist me.
All right. Okay. So I'm sorry I interrupted. Please continue.
No problem. Yeah, and then the other variance that we're asking is for the minimum ground disruption. I mean, the minimum ground. Because for dwelling units, you need 350, and you only have 312. And I can't go any sideways anymore because I'll be even more into the setback. And the other way, again, I have the meters and all that. So that's why I'm asking for the other permission there. And then as far as, my last point there is this community benefit. I mean, we know that we are in a shortage of year-round rental properties, and that's what she's looking to do, to open up at least one person to be able to live year-round.
Okay.
Those are my 6 points that we came up with.
Well, thank you very much. So now, as I described to you before we started the meeting, board members are going to have questions, okay? So we're going to start down here to my right. We mix it up every meeting. We'll start tonight with
All right.
Mr. Martin down this end, please. Any questions of our petitioner, Mr. Martin?
Not really. It's actually, this meeting preparation that you did was excellent and explains a number of reasonings that I might have otherwise had questions about, dealing with the wetland in back and the aesthetics of trying to keep that line the same, because you could probably do it legally if it was just like a foot and a half further in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can understand the reasoning behind that. And the other things that you mentioned about minimal ground disruption and benefit of the apartment. It looks like she's going to use it for a good use and eventually herself maybe. So I think it's a very good proposal. I have no questions per se.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Mr. Frapery?
I guess my only concerns are one, parking, and secondly, the size of the unit. One of our requirements is you have adequate parking for 2 spaces for additional. Can you describe what you plan on doing for the parking?
I have actually a possibility on both sides. I have a garage, and next to my house on that side is room for 2 parking spots. And then on the side where the unit would have the entrance
Right.
is also room for 1 parking spot. So I have several parking possibilities
Yeah.
other than my garage.
Okay, and you don't have parking there today, correct? The parking on the right-hand side?
Sometimes when I have guests, they park when you face the house on the left, it's a grassy area.
Okay. Is that a permanent parking lot, or is it just on the grass?
No, it's just on the grass.
Grass, okay. And then as far as the space goes, the size, I was trying to understand, so you're converting, this is gonna be a 2-bedroom accessory? Just 2 bedrooms combined?
One, yeah,
That was a little confusing, so you'll have 1 bedroom in the accessory dwelling and 1 in the house. The bedroom that's being converted in the house, is there any way that could be included in the accessory apartment? Because that would get you over the 350 minimum.
it could if I have to, but I'd rather not.
Okay. It just may be something that we need
I
to talk
wanted to
about.
make an office out of that room, but if I need it, if you say I can't do it, otherwise I will.
Right. And then it's going to be for rentals. Those are my 2 main concerns, parking and the
I was
size.
thinking of extending it further, but when I talked to the wetlands people, they said, no, this is the limit. And like he said, I can't put it to the side because of all the
How-
meters.
How about adding a foot, if you could add a foot or 2 to the left side in the back, which would be the inner part, is that possible?
No, because that would look really weird.
You'd cut in, so you see what the meter is kind of listed there?
Is that what that circle is? Is that
Yes,
the meter?
that's the meter and all the gas lines and all that.
Right,
So
yeah.
if you move 1 foot there, you'll be hitting right
Okay.
on that spot. And that's also the kitchen window and all that. So aesthetically looking, you'll be
Okay.
covering the window that is out there too.
Right, and then they also have the stairs on the side that also protrude out a little bit extra into space too.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had for questions, but those are my concerns.
Okay.
Mr. Igo?
Yeah, I want to understand this plan in the back. Is that a bulkhead on the back?
Are you talking about?
On the back of the proposed addition?
No, this is a slider going out to the back of the house. Are you talking about?
What's that little square thing right there?
Let me see
Is
if I
that a
look
deck?
at it right. Is he
Is
talking
it a
about
covered bulkhead?
No, bulkhead is pointing to the structure right
Yeah, the
above
bulkhead,
36,
Bulkhead,
number
yeah.
36.
For the
I see
existing
that.
building.
What is this off the back of the addition? That little square area that you have there?
Yeah, so this is a slider. So the,
Not a slider, it's some type of a
yeah,
deck.
it's a legal deck because you gotta have
Deck.
a landing to go back.
Okay, and what's beyond the deck? What's beyond that? A set of stairs?
Yeah, to
Is
go
that
down.
why the Conservation Commission isn't letting you go back any further because of those stairs in the deck?
Well, partially. Yeah,
Why can't we put those on the side?
put
And you
those
can
on,
add some space out the back.
well, if I put them on the side here,
Mm-hmm.
I could have it on the side. So here she has, you know, all her stuff. I could do it on the side, but then this is where pretty much as the setup goes, I should have also printed that out.
I have.
We have the kitchen going into the area. That's why I have it all at the back where the bedroom would be next to.
Shall I show
And,
you that?
Well,
So this is why the reason we put it like.
Yeah, you see, if you want us to look at something, we have to have it physically
Oh, okay.
so that we can make it part of our record. It's not that we don't want to see every picture you have in your phone, your grandkids
Just
or
took them
whatever,
so
you
you
know.
have a visual on the place.
Yeah,
I-
no, we
I've-
can't do
I've got a
that.
plan here, I think, so, but it seems to me that you should be able to build out further out back. Another thing, your order conditions call for 263 square feet. You've got 312 on your plan. Is the Conservation Commission aware that you're doing 312?
So the existing bathroom, we're gonna include into the addition. That's why it's gonna be 312.
I
instead
gave
of-
up the bathroom so it can be included in the unit.
So what is the square footage of the addition
So the existing
to
bathroom,
the house?
the addition is gonna be about 264. But there is an existing bathroom which will include into the new unit and make that part of the addition. Therefore, you'll be a total of 312.
So we don't have an exact measurement on what it's going to be?
The bathroom or the addition?
No, no, the addition.
Yes, we do. On the drawings there, we have the floor plan from the engineer.
Well, you tell me, I'm not presenting, you are.
No, yeah. There's no page number, but the addition will be.
I've got one of one sheet, are there more?
A100, these plans, Steve.
Yeah.
The X100.
Oh, okay. I didn't get down far enough,
All right.
thanks.
No worries.
Or if I did, I overlooked them. I guess I did see them. I apologize. Thanks, Jay. All right, go ahead, sir, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that, as you can see, that there's an existing bathroom, which if you look at the plan, it's included in the addition. And that bathroom is about 6 by 6. And then the addition itself, it's 24 by 12 minus that square footage of the bathroom.
So 24 by 12 is what, 240 and 48, 288? And what did Concom say you could have?
263 or 261?
24 by, yeah, it's 24 by 13 exactly. but-
Well, okay.
You know, we have no authority over the Conservation Commission, okay? So we can't obviate or change any of their requirements.
I guess, okay, all right. Now, and so, you want to go out that way because you don't want to interfere with an electrical service. Why can't you go out and jog the end of that building into the backyard?
Because again, there's a window out there. I'll be covering pretty much that kitchen view, light, everything.
I don't mean, I don't mean covering the back of the house.
Extending back.
I spending
I mean,
towards the wetland.
I mean, coming out here and putting a little jog here. Right here. Your big kitchen window's back here, right? I'm talking about right here, to meet your minimum requirement.
The
There's a
back, the back
bathroom
of the,
window.
the back of the new addition, the back half,
New addition, why can't you jog it in a couple feet?
side.
Goes into the wetland.
To the side like that.
Doesn't go into the
I
wetland.
say so, like kind of like in the window, but out back further.
Yes.
That's what you mean, like a square
Off
that
that
way.
bedroom, living room, is that what?
It'd make it more of an L.
Right here.
Make like
Just
an L
Come
shape.
out here and jog it here.
right.
But,
What we're going to try and do is have one person speak at a time, okay?
well, I'll tell you my concerns. I think the layout could be better, all right, but that's up to you. Secondly, you're asking for a variance here for two things. One is the setback, side setbacks, which are not allowed under the bylaw. And secondly, you need to have a minimum of 350 square feet. Now, you put together the reasons why you can't do it. I'm not quite sure that I'm persuaded that you can't do it. All right, so I'm not really persuaded in granting a variance relief here tonight, so far. I think you could kind of go back to the drawing board and make this work. And I don't know why you need to extend a deck and then a set of stairs out into a wetland buffer zone. You're giving up a lot right there to really have nothing. You could take those stairs and put them on the side, and you could build out probably another couple feet on there.
Okay. But the other variance, there's no way to get out of it.
Well, your sideline, yeah, I agree with that. Okay? But, and that part, I know what you're saying there, your setbacks.
Yeah.
What concerns me is if we start acquiescing to giving away setbacks for these accessory apartments and we say yes to you, who are we gonna say no to?
Nice.
You know, maybe there has to be go back to the drawing board and figure out a different spot on the lot to put this, like back where that wood deck is.
Yeah, I talked to my
That way.
I talked to my engineer the way that we're building it, and all of the rooms inside the dwelling, if space is the issue that you're thinking about, they all go accordance to what the requirements are, because it's gonna be like an open living space kind of idea. So if that's the main issue, is the 312 square footage versus the 350, we keep it this way because, of course, there's cost shortage as well. We increase the building, also a lot bigger, spend a lot more. That's
Well,
also
let me ask you
part of
this
it.
question too, because Jay brought up a good point about the parking.
Okay.
How are you gonna get into this unit?
If you look at the front of our house,
Yeah?
yeah, on the right side, exactly where that little entrance,
Yeah? It's
There.
8 feet, it's 8 feet off the sideline, that's a structure.
and then the front of there of our that's gravel parking right there already for 2 cars essentially. You could use that as the main.
And then walk around the front
course.
yard to the side?
No, walk up to the right. Just get off the car, walk to your right.
Where are you putting the driveway?
So you see where it says septic right there? The little line towards the septic in the
What
front?
sheet are you referring to now?
Um,
Okay, that's fine, I got it.
to the,
Just bouncing around.
yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay, it's not your, sometimes that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
We're talking now about the site plan. Yeah, okay.
I see the existing driveway right there, but where are you gonna put the driveway to fit 2 cars to access that unit that's in the back right corner?
So we got 2 options again. One is gravel in front of the house,
Where in front of the house?
back by the street.
Along the street?
It's already gravel there. It's already people parked there.
So you're gonna put 2 cars along the street? Is that what you're
Well,
telling us?
It's one person, but yeah, if you need 2 cars, yes.
Okay,
Or
well,
if not, she has plenty of space on that garage area to add on to 2 more driving areas too. So she got space to do either way.
well, I'm not sold on putting parking along the street.
Okay, and the other option that she's thinking is, if you look on the right corner of her property there, that part also was an option to put.
So you wanna have 2 driveways in the house?
Yeah,
2
that would
separate
be like
driveways.
more of a gravel driveway
You know, the
on that spot.
bylaw requires
Two.
the finished look to look that of a single-family home, not of a duplex. So that's a concern that I have as well. If you're planning on putting a driveway over there. So if you're, right now, you're gonna have to park on the left to walk to the right side of the house. It just doesn't appear to me to be independent of the house itself. And the people living in the house are gonna be seeing you every day walk by the front window with your groceries, unless you're gonna go all the way around the back, or unless you're gonna put a driveway over here, or unless you're gonna put a driveway up along the street.
Yeah, so we got, those are the options, either the street, the right side, towards that hallway, could kind of go right into the house. Those are the two preferable spots, if they're allowed.
All right,
And the backup will be along across the way.
okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Mantoni?
I don't have any additional questions, but I do share some of the same concerns as the other board members. Parking, certainly, that was the first thing that came to mind for me, as well as the size, you know. We do have a minimum of 350 square feet, so, you know, other than that, I'm okay, but those are kind of two big concerns of mine. So that's all I have.
Well, I have major concerns that, first of all, I don't know that the Constance Avenue is built to its full layout or not. There's just nothing in front of me to tell me that. So for me to say that it's perfectly okay to utilize 2 parking spaces that may not even be subject to this homeowner's control is of great concern to me. Now, I don't believe it's, I believe it probably is built to the road layout, but we've seen road layouts that far exceed what's actually paved on the ground. And I'm seeing specifically a notation here, edge of pavement, which, you know, it causes me a little bit of concern, particularly, I also see, and it says slope bit curb. What does that mean, do you know?
Let's see where you're looking at. Let me find you first.
Hey, 2 minutes?
I think it's I think it's a sloped concrete, maybe.
By 2 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Oh, but 2 minutes concrete, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. In any event, I'm not losing this concern, because we've watched this before where petitioners have come in and they wanted to build things within the road layout. Well, the road layout's the road layout. You can't build on a road layout, even if it's not paved to the full extent. We would often give dimensional relief, but not necessarily do we have the authority, nor would we ever grant relief to park on a municipally owned or private road either way.
So, yeah, that would definitely not something that.
So I'm going to work on the assumption that it's likely that this is the road layout, but I'm also looking at a complete width of 40 feet, and we know, I mean, is it 40 feet? Somebody tell me, do you think it's 40 feet out there? Because when I drive out there, I don't have a tape measure, but I couldn't tell.
Layout is 40 feet.
What?
The layout is 40
Oh, I
feet. I don't know
understand.
I
I'm
don't know what the
asking-
pavement is. Yeah.
You know, we were talking about it being on the
30.
Now we're moving cars into a setback, a front setback that, I don't think that's what the front setback was intended for, but I'm not sure we can't allow it. I'm also very troubled by the size of the unit to grant any relief, and it's a minimum, is just to me, I mean, I know these apartments are new, we're all trying to grapple with them, we all are trying to accomplish the same goal of getting more units available for affordable living in this town. What concerns me is that those minimum requirements are pretty minimum. And to take away a single, foot is difficult for the occupant. So even though we're trying to piggyback a bathroom that is in the existing structure somehow to the total, I'm not sure that that works. But moving along, where is it that we are somehow knowledgeable that this is a bedroom that's going to be given up?
That would have to be a condition.
Well, I mean, how do you enforce that condition?
Yeah,
Well, the top, it has, that's.
I
what
was
has
just
to be-
noticing the fact that the building department that may be a problem for you, because they're gonna look at that new living room, so-called, on the plan as being a bedroom, because it has just a regular door and a closet.
Yeah, well, losing the bathroom just because of that reason too, because,
Bathroom wouldn't matter.
oh, okay.
I mean, if we're going to grant any relief on this sort of a petition, I think we got to include some way by which we can, either on an annual basis, biannual basis, whatever it may be, can enforce this provision, because there's nothing here. And what's the septic system good for? Is it 2 or 3 bedrooms?
2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms.
Yeah,
So the
that's-
existing septic is 2 bedrooms. There are 2 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, has health weighed in on this?
What's that?
Has the health department weighed in on this?
Issue
You're
the,
gonna be next after.
Next?
Yeah, so it goes them
they issue
to.
the occupancy permit. It doesn't have to
I
be,
can't
but
hear you.
When they issue an occupancy permit as well, it's only gonna be able to be a 2-bedroom. They have to give up a bedroom, they're required to do that. They're aware of that, but these are also supposed to be inspected annually, and they can only be year-round leases.
But they are existing 2 bedrooms.
Right. They're on notice that they
so-
have
so
to
if I-
eliminate a bedroom.
So if I put in a futon instead of a 4-posted bed, does that make it a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom when this addition is done?
It's all about the door.
I'm sorry?
It's all about the door.
No, I understand. We've watched that happen, Dick, over the years. People get cutesy with us on that.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that of this petitioner. I'm just saying to you, I mean, I find it remarkable that we've allowed this bylaw to pass the way it has passed with these kind of unanswered issues.
Me too, actually.
And in a manner that strikes me as putting the poor occupant, who have no other housing alternative available, but is expected to live in 312 square feet in some fashion.
Can I ask you a
Is there an allowance for shared cooking? Is that allowed under the new bylaw?
It's got its own kitchen.
Yeah, it's gonna have a kitchen, it's gonna have.
Oh, it's going to have a
be an
kitchen
open-
within 312 square feet?
Yeah, it's a small kitchen for one person, again, to cook whatever they want. It's gonna be a window on there. But it's gonna be more of an open space. That's why we're not trying to put too many walls in there, because it's gonna be like an open space kind of idea. The only wall that will be there, besides the bathroom, obviously, and the back closet, is gonna be for a little bit of the cabinet. So it's gonna be like a dwelling unit for one.
All right, and
It's enough, yeah, like a studio kind
Okay.
of thing.
Studio.
no, that's fine, if that's what's going to be in there and that's allowed by the building department, I don't take any position on it. I do see, however, not less than 3, I'm going to condition number 6, not less than 350 square feet. I go to condition number 7, it says there'll be at least 2 off-street parking spaces on the premises, and potentially, whether we can enforce it or not, potentially 3 bedrooms in play here. Not by you. You may be the most law-abiding individual in the world, but this passes along, this grant of relief in this instance, under the bylaw, passes along with the property. Ownership, change of ownership. And as a consequence, we don't have a lot to say about it after the fact. And then, maybe it gets inspected annually, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But what I do know is it's of great concern to me that we could potentially have 6 adults living within this property, and each one having a car, and these cars lining up and down a very narrow residential road. And that's something I don't want to see happen,
Is there a way to have that proved, or is there a way to?
I'm sorry.
Is there a condition that maybe, let's say, we got this approved, so you can show you that she's not using that for a bedroom?
There's no doubt in my mind that this very fine petitioner would obey each and every condition we placed on this property. I'm not concerned about her. I'm concerned about the future of this town and the future of this property as it relates to the town.
No, okay.
And that's what I'm charged with when the Board of Selectmen appoint me here to this, is to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the town. I want this bylaw to work. I'm disappointed in the way it's drafted, but it is what it is. I don't get the final say on that, so we're going to enforce it as it says. And as I'm seeing it, unless somebody can tell me I'm wrong, am I right that it requires 2 parking spaces for this unit?
Yeah.
And 2 parking spaces for the unit that's within the home? And I see that as 4 parking spaces on premises, not on the street, but on premises. So I may be in the minority, I may be in the minority of only one of us here tonight. And you're probably going to hope that I am if we decide to bring this thing to a vote, because otherwise you will lose the petition. I am not satisfied that there is sufficient parking here with its current layout. Okay? If you can tell me some other solution to it, I'm willing to listen to it, when you come back to us with another solution. But that, to me, is the biggest sticking problem, because I can foresee the future here. Just like when I try to go out to the beaches on the north side, and I can't get down the street because people can't get in the parking lot, so they park their car on the street. And these narrow, 25-foot wide roads, despite having a 40-foot municipal layout or planned layout, are built only to 25 feet, and you can't get around them. So we have near accidents and traffic congestion that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I wish I.
And that's my biggest concern, and the fact that I see it as a minimum at 350, and I don't know. I agree with Mr. Igo that there's a pretty simple solution to it. I think it's that the solution requires some thinking that might necessitate a relocation of the porch, the decking, or a portion of the decking. And that may be unfortunate, but I think it's important that there be at least 350 square feet in this apartment. So that's my thought on it. Now,
Mr.
that's
Chairman,
just my thought. We don't have a motion, we don't have anything else.
A couple other questions, concerns I had, and I agree with you about the driveway. I didn't really give that much thought. I think that's a problem. It's also showing in a stockade fences, which apparently, I'm not sure whose they are, but it looks like they could be encroachments on both sides of the property. So the fences, in other words, are shown on both of your abutters' land and not on yours. So if they belong to them and they put them up, that's fine. If they're yours, that could be another issue. Another way, to get your square footage, I mean, on those, as the other members said, there's ways probably around this. The proposed addition, you add 2 feet or whatever it is, to the left, and you'll get your square footage. That would be one way to do it. I do think you're going to have the problem with the so-called second living room in the house, though. Maybe if you opened up that linen closet or whatever, then you'd have a wide enough doorway so that wouldn't be considered a bedroom. But there are some issues.
I could make a case open too. So just remove the door, period.
Yeah.
Have that a case open.
You'd have
Therefore,
to incorporate the closet, too. There's no room there in the hall. There's no room in just the hall to make it a wider
okay,
casement.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to
like I'm saying,
incorporate
if you
incorporate
remove the
something.
door and just do a case open, would that be considered?
A what?
Case open, no door. So that would be considered.
Yeah, that would be fine, but it has to be a certain width. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Martin, before we move on to what anybody else might have, if we can look at the same plan we just talked to, on the easterly sideline, I don't understand these CBs.
The concrete
See-
bounds?
Yeah, the CB is noted on the abutter's property, not where the fence location is. It almost appears like this, built well within the abutter's property, but I could be wrong on
That's
that.
probably why the fences went up where they did.
Yeah, and, well, the same is true on the westerly side. We're looking at a CB there at the southerly end of the stockade fence, and that runs up again within, not on this property owner's property. But I don't see them counting that as any sideline number or anything. It's just to their sideline. So, I just point that out. Okay, does anybody else have anything they want to say before I move it open it up to public
Well, yeah,
input?
I do.
About parking or anything that you want to?
No, I think, I spent already $7,000 on all the different wetland experts and whatever, and I cannot afford any more. So if you decide that we can't do it, I can't do it.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you right now that I will not be able to support this petition as presented. And so without my vote, it's going to fail.
Well, because I've said my piece, place. If it were just you, we have a full board
Oh, well,
tonight.
actually, we have a full board, I'm sorry. Right, so, okay, so if 2 members say no, then it's I thought we only had 4 tonight, but we have 5. So, excuse me, if you want to poll the board, I'm a no.
See, why this is important is because if you want us to bring it to a vote tonight, and then you should change your mind or find some other fortune that allows you to consider it, you'd have a 2-year window before you could bring it back before us. Versus if we tell you in advance that you're not going to win, you could consider asking us to allow you to withdraw it without prejudice to you bringing it back before us whenever you wanted to. You want us to bring it to a vote?
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we do, does anybody in our audience care to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone, tell us who you are. Before I can go to a vote, this is what we need to do. Does anybody in our audience care to speak in opposition to this petition? If so, please come to the microphone, tell us who you are. Seeing none on either call, we now close it to the public's input and open it up to board discussion, deliberations. There's been a request that we bring it to a vote, irrespective of the
Mr.
Statement.
Chairman, might I suggest that we have the petitioner rethink that? I think she, unless she's planning on appealing our decision,
Well, that's up to her, but I mean, we can't give you legal advice. You need to decide this on your own. If you'd like to take a step back so you can consider whether or not you want us to vote on it tonight, that's fine. We'll go to the next matter. If you want us to go forward with a vote, we'll do that. If you want to request a withdrawal without prejudice, likely you would be granted that.
Think about it for a second, maybe you'll come.
Well, no, I can't afford to add this and tear off this and whatever. I just thought a simple addition so I can have one studio rental, and if I can't do that, that's that. And I talked to Mark Forrest, and he told me we support this and blah, blah, blah,
Okay, so you'd like us to go forward with a vote?
I'd like to make a motion that
Please, Mr. Igo. yeah?
we allow the petition as requested.
Without condition, right?
Without condition, and that's a variance.
I'll second that.
That was Mr. Martin?
Yep.
All right, there's been a motion made to grant the petition without condition. Does anybody care to have any discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Please.
I think, given the discussion that we've had, the questions have gone back and forth, the petitioner, and what's been presented here tonight, the petition has failed to demonstrate they've met the criteria for a variance under our bylaw.
Okay, anybody else? Anybody else?
I agree with Mr. Iger.
Okay, so on that motion, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Martin in favor of the motion or against?
Nay.
Mr. Frapery in favor of the motion?
Nay.
Mr. Igo in favor of the motion?
Nay.
Mr. Mantoni in favor of the motion?
Nay.
And I'm a nay. That carries 5-0 in favor, 5 against. That motion, that petition then fails. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Move to deny the request for special permit. I think there's one of those two. isn't there? Two forms of relief here.
I believe so.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's both there.
Move to deny the request for special permit.
All right, Mr. Igo moves. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm done.
Mr. Frapery, second?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion, anyone? Hearing none?
I do have some, just a comment on that. The petition as presented does not qualify for special permit under our bylaw. It would only qualify for a variance. Therefore, it should be denied.
Okay. Anybody else? Hearing none? Mr. Mantoni?
I-
No. Are you in favor of the motion to grant the special
Oh,
permit?
no, nay, sorry.
You're a nay then? Mr. Igo?
Nay.
Mr. Frapery?
Nay.
And Mr. Martin?
Nay.
I'm a nay as well. That again fails on a 0 in favor and 5 against vote. Thank you very much, sir.
No problem.
Always good to see you.
Sorry, I got confused if I could go.
You're fine, you're fine.
Sorry. All right, gentlemen. Until next time.
All right. These are gonna need to be addressed probably at some point in the future, but, you know, with the next town meeting, but we'll get there. We'll get there through it. Brings us to our next petition. Probably everybody running home right now. I somehow have lost my, here we go. I got it. Thanks.
I lose my agenda every time.
Yeah, we have a petition 5123, Janice O'Reilly, trustee of 71 Acres Avenue Realty Trust, concerning property located at 71 Acres Avenue, West Yarmouth, Mass. That property is located in an R25 zoning district. Our applicant seeks a special permit pursuant to bylaw section 104.3.2, subparagraph 2, on the alternative of variance under 203.5 of our zoning bylaws for side setback relief to raise the ridge of a pre-existing non-conforming structure. Hello, you're not Mr. Healy.
He's
I
not
know
Mr.
you're not
Healy.
Mr. Healy.
Mr. Healy came with me to the Conservation Commission. Dave Manning came with me to this. and He's my contractor.
No, it just says on my list that Mr.
yeah.
Mr. Healy's presenting
me
this
on the-
petition.
to the-
He's a lot taller than I am, I can't help it.
Not as handsome, though.
Oh, thank you.
I want you to know
I'll
that.
tell him.
All right, why don't you tell us all about your petition, if you would,
I can
please?
start it, and then Dave will have to fill in the details. So apparently I have a non-conforming structure. My family's owned the house since 1971, and when my dad put the deck on, I think it now wouldn't qualify for the setback, but it did at the time, so I'm going to use terminology that I know, that it was grandfathered in, so that makes my structure non-conforming. So
Shame on you.
I know. I can blame my dad. So now what I just wanted to do is just to expand the living space, and so we're moving the house out forward 10 feet, which I guess then raises the ridge, which I just learned what a ridge is. And so I have a second floor right now, but it's not dormered, so we're going to dormer the second floor as part of that.
All righty. Want to get more bedroom space, probably, huh?
No, because I already have a bedroom up there, and
Just
so
wanna
it would just
expand
make
it.
it bigger. Yeah, what I really need is living space and storage. So it's going to give me more storage space.
And it's gonna give her a nice
Will
first
somebody
floor.
plan that for my bedroom, because my wife takes up a lot of the closet.
Yeah. Well,
All right, Mr. Mantoni, do you have any questions about petitioner this
Just,
evening?
so you're bringing the, not only up in the, for the
it's going
dormer-
out 10 feet. That's the living space. So
feet.
the living room and the kitchen will both go out
Okay.
10 feet, yeah.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Steiger?
As far as the footprint goes, the footprint's going to stay in the same spot. You're just bringing that existing
Yeah,
footprint
we're just
out
doing 10 by 26.
within the footprint right now, but it's just going to add a 10 feet on. Okay, so you've got 50 feet right now, so that'll bring it out to 40. Is that correct?
Yep.
And just going up, no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Frapery?
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. So you are adding house to the front of the house?
Yes, we're bringing out the
10 feet,
10 feet out.
and then you're adding a second floor with dormers.
Well, the second floor is already there.
You're putting dormers on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're putting a
it is.
dormer on it.
And is there any change to the side setback?
No.
Just extending the deck?
We're
out?
actually, when we extend the deck, we're getting a further away from the non-conforming part. We're at 9.2 right now.
Yep.
We'll be at 9.5 with the extension.
You're bringing the deck out the same distance you're bringing the house
We're
out.
planning to, if we can, yeah.
The setback is going to be from 50 down to 40.
Yep.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin?
I can't think of anything. I think it's a nice-looking plan.
Version 7.
I think it's, I don't see that we're looking for too much here, so I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, would you help me again, please?
Sure.
The nonconformity that's going to be reduced is the front deck?
So we're not going any more non-conforming than we already are.
But-
The house, the deck right now is 9.2. It'll,
To the sideline?
yep,
Okay.
and it'll be 9.5 to the sideline of the new deck.
So I think it's a special permit, is that?
It's just
under
because they're going higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so special permit on 1.4, is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, it's a change to a non-conforming structure. Okay, so, and it's going to come 10 feet into the 50-foot front yard setback now.
Correct.
So you're still well beyond the 30-foot.
Right.
And you're going to go up, but you're not going to go out.
Right.
And you're not going to impose any new nonconformity by agreeing to, building this. It's in fact going to reduce a nonconformity. Am I accurately stating that?
Correct.
Okay. You'll forgive me, I have to take notes because I don't want to have to watch video for the next week, you know? Particularly since I can't understand what I say in the video. All right. Does anyone in our audience care to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone, let me hear what you have to say. Seeing none. Does anyone in our audience care to speak in opposition to this petition? Please come to the microphone, let's hear what you have to say. Seeing none, we now close it to the public's input on the petition. We open it up to board discussion and deliberation. There may still be questions, but no public input at this point. Does anybody have any other questions of our petitioners?
No questions. I'd be willing to support it. I'd make a motion to support it without any conditions. I believe I don't think it reduces the nonconformity. I think it just maintains the nonconformity.
Doesn't increase it, for sure.
Right. Correct.
So in your motion, could we put as a condition, or that the wooden deck on the left side of the house will be no closer than 9 foot 5 inches to the sideline setback? 9.2 right now.
Existing one is 9.5?
The existing one is 9.2.
Oh, okay.
9.2, right?
9.2.
Okay, so you want it to 9.5.
Well,
Right.
the house is at a
It's
slight
at an
angle,
angle.
so when you
There's a
build
difference of, 12 inches versus 10 tenths, you know? So is it 9.2 or is it 9 foot 2 inches?
It's 9.2.
Okay, and you're now suggesting it will be no closer than 9.5.
Correct.
All right.
You're actually narrowing it on that back point?
Now, the house is
In the front.
askew to the lot line,
No,
so by,
the front is going to be 9.5 because it's extended out, but isn't the back of it still at 9.2?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I
we're not-
wanted
we're not touching that.
clarification on that I don't have to have the whole deck at 9.5, which would mean I'd have to
That's what
narrow
I'm
it.
just-
That's what I'm trying to clarify.
That's what I'm trying to get to,
Yeah.
is that I believe you want it at, continue it at
9.2.
9.2.
Yeah, I Does that make sense?
Well, that's not what the representation was by your builder.
I said that wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I just
So
want to make
let's
sure,
just make sure,
if I
because we're
have to
gonna want an
narrow it, I
as-built.
will, but I think
You
we,
really should have, this plan could be a little bit more precise, especially on this right here. We've
Okay.
got this, what's on the ground, which
Okay.
is existing, but we
Okay.
don't have anything that's proposed, and we'd like to have an as-built for our file. You
Okay.
can bring us one of those when you're
Yes,
done?
yep.
Yeah, okay.
yep, no problem at all.
Okay, so you're just, so why don't we just say it'll be no closer than 9.2? Is that
Yes,
fair enough?
yeah,
Okay,
that's,
oh, we'll do
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, all right.
I'm an
That's fine.
accountant, numbers
Well,
mean something to me.
I don't want to get you jammed up for a few inches here.
Pretty sure that's what you want, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
For correcting me.
thank you.
that's okay.
And just for clarity, we're talking about 9.2 to the,
Left sideline?
I gotta do this in my head. It takes a
that's
minute for me to
9.2.
figure out directions here.
That's nice.
East and west.
So that, I guess we just call it easterly sideline, does that make sense?
It's east, yeah.
Or southerly, whatever anybody wants to call it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna call it southerly, I guess. Deck will be no closer than 9.2 on southerly abutting line.
Southeast, I guess it is, the sun, yeah.
All right. We have a motion on the floor that is presented by Mr. Frapery, which is to approve the petition as presented, with the only condition being that it be no closer than 9.2 to the, I'm going to call it southerly abutting line.
That the deck would be no closer than
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Right.
sure, deck, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It says deck here, but
I second that.
is that satisfactory for the read for your motion? Okay, Mr. Mentoni, you second that? All right. Does the board care to have any discussion on the motion so made before proceeding to a vote?
Yes, that the petitioner has demonstrated that he meets the criteria under 104.3.2, and that the addition that he's proposing is not going to be any more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure that's there now.
Okay? Anybody else? I wholeheartedly agree. I know how I'm voting, but we're going to do a roll call vote, okay? Mr. Martin?
Aye.
Mr. Frapery?
Aye.
Mr. Igo?
Aye.
Mr. Mentoni?
Aye.
Mr. DeYoung is an aye. You know, we need to fumigate this room, okay? Somehow, a summer insect has made its way in.
You left the door open.
Oh, who let the dog out is the question. All right, so that carries 5-0. I'll draft a decision. The decision must be filed with the town clerk's office.
Okay.
From the date it's filed, 20 days must elapse. That's a technical waiting period, assuming there being no appeal from the grant of the relief we've given you here tonight. That then is considered a fully granted special permit. However, you do need to take that document called the special permit to the Barnstable Registry of Deeds. You need to record it there and bring a proof that it's been recorded back to our zoning board administrator,
Dolores. All right.
Dolores Fallon, who
I
is,
know Dolores.
we
She's
could
been
never
very
replace.
She's been
okay?
so helpful to me.
Is it
So,
raise time yet, by the way?
I get the special permit, and then I register it.
Yeah, no, she's going to tell you all about it.
Tell me, Dolores.
Yeah, you don't have to
thank
take
She-
notes.
I don't know, I couldn't have gone this far without her.
You don't have
She's
to
been
take
great.
notes, you're fine.
Okay, thanks.
See you later.
All right, thank you.
Wait, hold on a second, mister.
But we have a.
Did you request
a variance.
two different forms of relief? I don't understand how a variance would even apply here, but that's okay. All right, so what we usually do in these circumstances is we ask our petitioners who bring in a request for alternative relief, whether it's applicable or not, to withdraw the other form of relief that's not necessary, because you've already been granted the special permit, that we withdraw that, that you ask to withdraw it without prejudice. And that's what you wish to have happen, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I knew it was.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Mr. Igo moves. Second?
Second.
Mr. Mantoni seconds. Any need for discussion? Hearing none. We'll do it by roll call vote. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, carries unanimously, 5-0. Therefore, it's withdrawn without prejudice, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Dolores.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, the game might have just started 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I wanted to get you all home in time, but we'll get to the next matter right now. It's petition 5124, Francis Wilson of 17 Portsmouth Terrace, Yarmouthport, Massachusetts. That property is within the Aquifer Protection District, the R40 zoning district, and Zone 2. The applicant seeks a special permit pursuant to 104.3.2, subparagraph 2, or in the alternative, a variance from under 203.5 of the zoning bylaws for front setback relief on a pre-existing non-conforming structure to expand 2 bedrooms.
Bathrooms.
Yeah.
It says bathrooms on the page.
Yeah, it does.
I said bedrooms, didn't I?
You did.
Shame on me.
You want to go watch the game, I get it.
Shame,
He doesn't want that.
shame on me. Tell us who you are, please.
My name's Jim Craig.
Sure.
I work for Tom Turcata Building and Remodeling.
Sure.
And we're going to expand a couple bathrooms for Frank.
Oh, wait a minute. This is Ms. Wilson here?
And I am Fran Wilson.
Hi, Ms. Wilson. How are you tonight? You want him to speak, or you want to do it for him?
I think he could speak first, and then I could add anything to it that you might like
That'd
to
be a
know.
wonderful way to proceed. Thank you. Please go right ahead, sir.
All right, well, we want to expand there's 2 bathrooms. One's off the master and one is the common bath. And we want to turn the common bath into a bathroom/laundry room. And the master bath, we want to make it a little bigger, put a walk-in shower in it. And, just make it big enough so that she can live on the same floor. As we all know, we do get older and we need first floor living.
Okay. It's nice when things are simple, isn't it?
Yeah?
Mr. Martin, any questions of our petitioner?
I don't think so. Is the house only 1 bedroom now, or? Is the house only
bedrooms.
1 bedroom?
2 bedrooms. There's a bedroom downstairs, as well as the master bedroom upstairs.
It's upstairs, okay. Didn't get that far, I guess. No, I can see what's being done. I think it's a fairly minimal request. Bring the front setback down by less than 5 feet. I know they can't do anything in back because the pond's back there. And
No trouble with that.
so I don't think I have any questions anyways.
Mr. Frapery?
No, I don't have any questions. I think it just goes from like 31 feet setback to around 36, 30, 20, I'm sorry, 25 and a half.
Yep.
So 4.5 feet. But I don't have any other questions.
Okay, Mr. Igo.
No questions, thank you.
Wow. I tell you, that's a first.
Okay, so now can I add a bedroom?
Not very helpful.
This is cause for celebration. Maybe we will get home before the first half ends. Mr. Mantoni?
I don't have any questions either.
Well, I don't have any questions. I do have a comment. It's the very, very rare occasion when I will consider any reduction in front setback, any relief on front setback. I just don't think it's appropriate because usually these, residential units are all done in conformity with a master plan, and it's part of the plan that the integrity of the zoning bylaw occur, or they were built prior to the enactment of zoning bylaws. So irrespective of that, I can't think of a piece of property, and I'm aware of your house, it's very lovely, by the way, okay?
Thank you, thank
And it's
you.
well-maintained, and
Been in that home for 35 years now.
have you? Well, listen, when you're done trimming your own bushes, they're out of control over at my house. But, in all kidding aside, it's a lovely property. This can be done without in any way interfering with the view of the property, its tranquility within its peace and tranquility offered to the neighborhood, and I think is a good utilization of this proposed addition to make it a more livable house, particularly with only the 2 bedrooms in it. So I know that, again, I won't speak for Mr. Martin, but Mr. Igo, but I can tell you, he and I are usually very opposed to the grant of any relief on front side setback. And for good cause, I think for very good cause. I think it's very unique, this property, and that's why I can support it when ordinarily I would not. And the uniqueness, again, is its location, the fact that it can be well screened by the existing vegetation. Even if you remove some of it, it's still going to remain a well-placed home, far from the street side. And so it's a go for me if somebody makes a motion, okay? I'm going to speak in favor of it, and I do. However, before proceeding to that, I have to say that this is from Andy Sandler. My wife Jill and I own the home at 10 Portsmouth Terrace, diagonally across the street from Ms. Frances Wilson's home at number 17. Excuse me, please. We spend several months each year here, and we have plans to move here full-time by next summer. While we're not yet full-time residents and registered voters, I hope that as homeowners of an abutting property, we have some say and some sway in this matter. We've known and been friendly with Ms. Wilson for the full 7 years we've been in the neighborhood. It has been clear from the outset that she has immense pride in her home and land, and with good reason. Jill and I have complete faith that her plans will do nothing less than enhance her home's interior beauty and convenience. And we enthusiastically recommend to the ZBA that they grant permission to Ms. Wilson to proceed with their project. Now, I don't know how much you paid him or how many spaghetti and meatball dinners you
Seen
promised.
him this year that they've come back. That's fabulous.
But
They
what a
have
wonderful
really
neighbor,
sweet
and what a
dog.
wonderful thing to see, a neighbor actually chiming in.
It's fabulous.
In agreement or not, doesn't matter to us, just at least showing an interest in the
I had
neighborhood.
no idea that was coming.
So beyond that, we have no one in our audience that would care to speak in favor or in opposition to the petition, because there's no one in our audience. Mr. Frapery?
My question is whether it's a special permit or requires a variance.
I think it's a variance, isn't it?
I think it's a variance too, because what you're doing is you're
Non-conforming.
Creating a nonconformity.
creating a brand new
A
one.
new one, yeah. So it requires a variance.
But one thing about the lot is it is a unique piece of property, and it does have restrictions relative to where it is sitting on the wetlands. It's on a corner as well, so very limited as to what, where you can build on this lot.
So the shape of the lot does have an impact.
I think the shape of the lot would be the hardship, and I do think we can grant this without derogating from the purpose and intent of the bylaw.
Okay. That was my one question.
Yeah. So I do think they meet the criteria for variance.
Yeah, the way I always see it is if it creates a nonconformity, it's a variance. If it doesn't create, then it's a special permit.
Well, this is a new one.
New,
Yeah, this is a new nonconformity.
That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't create, if it creates a nonconformity, it's,
Right, I see.
There's already nonconformity there, if that matters.
It is on the side.
Yeah.
but we're creating a new one now.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
an additional.
All right, in any event, anybody prepared to make a motion?
So I'd be prepared to make a motion to approve a variance based on the bylaw that it fulfills. Doesn't impact the neighborhood. I think it's a nice addition, and I believe it is, the yard itself and the shape of the lot does impact.
And that would be the variance without condition,
Without
right?
condition, yeah.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Martin, second. Is there any, does the board care to have any discussion before moving along to a vote? Hearing none, I think we've already established that it meets the criteria for the grant of a variance, and so no need to recite that back in. By roll call vote, Mr. Mantoni? Aye. Mr. Igo? Aye. Mr. Frapery?
Aye.
Mr. Martin?
Aye.
I am as well, an aye. Please, before you leave, though. Boy, I'm glad no one has to interpret my writing. Before you leave, please be aware that we have to write a decision. That decision will be filed with the town clerk's office. 20 days must elapse. Usually, that's just a technical waiting period, but it does allow any interested person to file an appeal. That those interested persons, usually being defined by this Supreme Judicial Court as as direct abutters. As abutters within the definition of abutters. And beyond that, I suspect you'll have no appeal, and you'll then be able to take your variance and go down to the Barnstable Registry of Deeds and record it. And then when you record it, you're going to return proof that you have done so to Ms. Fallon, okay? She will give you instructions on that, which will be available to you as soon as we get this thing filed with the town clerk, okay?
Excellent.
The special permit.
Special permit.
Oh, did you have a special permit request as well in this? I wonder if anybody will ever be able to make up their mind on these things before I retire from the board.
Move to allow the petitioner to withdraw without prejudice, the request for special permit.
Second.
Board, care to have any discussion on that motion made and so seconded? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That carries unanimously by voice vote. Okay? Thank you very much.
All right, you
Thank
have
you,
a great
Mr.
night.
Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Board members.
Good luck.
I'm going to go bake cookies for my neighbor.
Gonna go what, bake cookies? Yeah, well, ask them what kind they want, be a really good neighbor.
There's one more item on the agenda,
Minutes,
election of officers.
Oh.
move to table. We don't need to do it right now. Move to table election of officers.
Second.
Push it down the road.
Why are we doing that?
Because we don't want to do it tonight. That's why. Want to go home and watch the game.
All right, what does anybody want to do? We adjourning, we moving, we having the election, what are we doing?
Move to table. I got a second. I got a motion with a second on the table here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Did you actually second that?
I did.
You did. You want to go home to watch the game?
I do.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Good night.
Dolores, these are fine. Move to adjourn.
And so we have.